Hello, beautiful people. Can you hear us?
Can hear you great.
All right, we're gonna flip the cameras here. There we go. A little bit better. There's Mr. Rob. I got some good stuff for you today. You're gonna like this. You're gonna be glad that you're here. Okay. Just need 1 second to load up a few things. One sec here, guys. Shoot. Oh, oops, gonna change my access level here. Okay, here it is. Good, good, good. All right. So today for dollar a day training, we're in week 6 of 6. But I wanted to start out with something that I thought you would appreciate more. And I brought my friend Danny Liebrandt here in the studio today. And I want to show what I'm calling the secrets of co-created content. You can't see this here, but I'm going to draw out these different components for you. And I want you to see what our structure of inception is about how to influence other people. You hear a lot of people talk about personal brand and influence and getting people to buy and pick up lines, copywriting, that kind of thing. But I want to show you a deeper way of doing it. And I'm going to sketch out a little something here so you guys can see it. And Mr. Danny here is going to hold this phone. So we're going to switch to my iPhone. So now you can see, look, the magic of technology. I'm sketching here. Let me know if this is upside down. There's my arm. Look, I was at Sky Zone yesterday. See, it's VIP. All right.
Is this good?
Yeah, this is great. Okay.
It looks sideways up there.
Is it? Can you? Okay. So this is you. And what we see people do when they're creating content is they are creating content. They are the ones creating content, and they're doing it on their site. So me on my site. Is this upside down, or can you guys see this okay? Do we need to turn the phone upside down? Let us know.
It's sideways. That's better.
Like that?
Yeah.
Vertical? Oh, imagine that. Vertical video. Okay. You guys can see this okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. They are creating content on their site. So whenever you're talking about yourself, you're a douchebag. BAG. Now, why is this not good? Why is it? I mean, this seems to make sense. If you are Bao here and you've got this universe crushing idea you want to share with other people, why wouldn't you be the one talking? Okay, I don't like how I sound, or I don't like, oh, Wes is here. Awesome. But, if you're Rob Jensen and you're the expert selling real estate in gated communities in Las Vegas, why wouldn't you be the one talking about your stuff on your website? That seems to make sense, right? I mean, heck, everyone else who talks about personal brand, they talk about how you need to get out there and how you've got to be creating 100 pieces of content all the time and going live and taking pictures of your food and all that. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Well, I wrote an article, and I'm going to switch it back to us here. It explains why you shouldn't do that. And I put it on the top website for why for personal brands, and why I am not an influencer. And I wrote this because I wanted you guys to see this. And so why am I not an influencer, and why should I not work on my own personal brand? Because it's more powerful when other people talk about you. And if you are the one talking about yourself, it's not as good. If you're having to say, even you're an influencer, you're not. If you're having to say, I'm handsome, I'm really intelligent, I'm wealthy. What would you say to me, Danny, if I said, you know what? I'm wealthy. What do you think about that?
You sound like an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I'm a douchebag. Yeah. So you never want to be the guy. It's like any of these. When I was working at Yahoo, I would frequently bike up the street to Google's headquarters and I would eat their food because it was better. Right. And what was the point I was going to make about that? Shoot, I forgot the thing I was going to tie in on that. I'll think of it a bit later. Why did I went there because we had free food at both places, but the Google food was better. How come? What was I going to tie in on that? I forgot. Okay. But anyway, you do better when other people talk about you. And am I sharing my screen here? Can you see this?
Not currently.
No, I didn't share my screen. Okay. Here. So I wrote this article just to poke fun at these other people that like to talk about themselves and how awesome they are, right? And here I explain why I don't work on my own, why you should never work on your own personal brand. Why?
Because people don't want to hear about you talking about yourself. They want to
Yeah.
hear about other people talking about you.
And so those other people are doing the work for you. So all of us here, instead of us thinking about, this is like this mind model we have to break ourselves of. It's other people that do the work for us, right? If I'm Eric Jones and I want to be seen as a LinkedIn ads expert, I could say I'm Eric Jones and I know all kinds of stuff about, here's the latest updates, the LinkedIn ads. I know all this stuff, all this knowledge I have. But you know what? I'm hanging out with AJ Wilcox, and that alone, I don't even need to say anything. If I'm hanging out with AJ Wilcox and he's the world's #1 in LinkedIn ads, that probably means I'm pretty good. I know something about LinkedIn ads, or he believes in me, and there's something there, right? Okay, that's what I want you guys to understand. Now, from an engineer standpoint, I want you to see it in a way that maybe you haven't thought about. Okay, we're gonna go back to filming like we were before. Okay, so instead of you being a douchebag, creating your content on your site, you're going to create content. This is you on someone else's site. But whose other site should you be putting content on?
Authority figures.
Oh, okay. And an authority figure could be a lighthouse, and a lighthouse is someone. Now, remember, we're playing Inception chess, playing many steps ahead, right? So who is it that think about, who is it that you want to buy from you, your products and services? Who do they respect, right? That's the lighthouse. So Inception is, if you want to sell to the people in the inner city, then who's the, athlete or whatever? Like the drug dealers knew this. That's how Nike got started. Did you know Nike was up against Adidas? And they won because they sent out Air Jordans into the inner city to the drug dealers. And then if the drug dealer was wearing the Air Jordans, then all the other whatever people that follow them would have to do the same thing. So, find your Michael Jordan, find your lighthouse. Who is it that you can interview, co-create content with, and then put content on their site? Now, what happens when you put content on their site and there's someone who's well-known in the industry, they're respected, they have an audience? How is that content, Danny, going to perform differently?
You're going to get immediate authority because all the respect that these people already have,
Yeah.
you are going to borrow it instantly. So let's say it's
Authority,
someone that's
yeah.
been working for 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've been working in LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and you've only been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
But because they've been doing it for 20 years, now everyone associates you with someone who's been working
Yeah.
on LinkedIn for 20 years.
By that association. So it's a great way to kind of skip ahead instead of toiling for. I'm not saying don't gain the expertise yourself and all that, but it's leveraging relationships, the authority. It also generates traffic, because odds are they have more traffic than you do. They have more audience. the way you want to reach your audience is not by trying to get all these people to come to your website. Why would anybody want to come to your website? They don't even know who you are, right? If they're already on the Lighthouses Facebook, already on the Lighthouses podcast, already on that insert, think about who your lighthouse is. There could be many of them. If the traffic and community and all that's already here, and you're co-creating content or even like having dinner with these people, whatever, and people can see that, that's already reducing friction because it's meeting people where they are, right? So the power of, so then let's think about this. You have your, but you still have your website, right? If you're putting content on other people's websites and other people's social, then what content really should be on your website and your socials?
Their content.
Their content. So instead of you being here, you take the Lighthouse and you are constantly, okay, so if it's a Lighthouse that's on your site and your socials, then what kind of like, what are they saying here? And if you're creating content about them, what's going on here? Here, let's do this. Let's show real examples. We're going to go back to our camera here. And I want you guys to see this. I don't want, what I'm trying to avoid is you thinking that you have to be around famous people or only Dennis can do it because he knows all these people, or like, that's not what I'm trying to say. Okay. So let's go to Twitter. And Danny made a post yesterday. He's only got 9,000 followers.
Not many.
But look, he made a post yesterday. He said, I worked with a billionaire yesterday. And, you know, we went to Florida and this guy has a mansion and boats and 2 private jets and all this kind of stuff. And 19,000 people saw it and 200 people liked it and other people shared it and commented and all this. So it's not the social proof. It's not that 19,000 people saw it. You care less. It could be all these people on Money Twitter. You give 0 craps about what these people think because it doesn't tie with your vision. It's not necessarily your crowd. It doesn't make you money, right? We have to make money on the internet because that's what funds this whole thing. That's what funds paying VAs. That's what funds. There's nothing wrong with making money. Just got to make money the right way. But what he did was what Danny did on his Twitter or his website or his LinkedIn or his Facebook was, if he's making content, he's co-creating content with somebody else. And so other people that know this guy is going to say, man, this guy is hanging out with Yadik Tadla, who is a real estate billionaire. That's pretty awesome. That must mean somehow these two have a connection. And let's say you don't know a billionaire. I'm not saying, well, Dennis says go out and make content with billionaires. That's the secret. No. If you do meet someone like this, and probably you're going to meet them at a conference, right? So what happens at a conference? You're wearing your badges and you take a picture, and it obviously instantly marks you as being a douchebag because you're one of hundreds of other people that have taken a picture with Gary Vaynerchuk or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That doesn't carry any authority because people can see right through that, right? But we're at his house and we're spending quality time together. And because of this, we captured it intentionally on my cell phone, which Danny was using. Okay, hang on a second. I need to change the source. How do I change this to share the screen? Let's see. Let's see, Dennis. Can you figure out how to share the screen? Hang on a sec. That's the Apple. Haha. Okay. Hang on a sec. Oh, no, I had this working. Okay. Let's go back to this one. Okay. Technical difficulties. 1 second here. Okay. All right. Hey, somebody say in user voice. Can you see my phone now?
I see your phone.
Okay. So you've never seen this on Zoom, have you? Someone like actually sharing their phone like this? Isn't that kind of cool?
No. Yeah.
Look, hey, by the way, if you want to teach $1 a day in social media and whatever, I think you should share on your phone like this. Don't just talk about it. Literally show me. Okay. So Danny, what's going on here?
So we were recording at Yadik Tadla's house. We were filming a bunch of content for about 5 hours. So we were getting various videos, pictures, and I was actually taking all these videos and pictures off of Dennis's phone.
Huh. Okay. And he has a podcast studio with all kinds of fancy equipment all set up. This guy, Raul, came out, flew in and set up this whole studio, but we didn't use his podcast studio or any of the camera gear or any of that. Why not?
Well, when you use a podcast studio like that, it feels too forced. It feels too set up. I feel like content performs best, and you feel this way as well. Content performs best when it feels most natural and organic.
Mhm.
So instead of feeling forced and caved into a podcast studio, we were just casually eating lunch and hanging out in his living room and just having a casual conversation that just happened to be filmed on video.
Uh-huh. And now we're having these discussions. And by the way, did you know that when you film on an iPhone and record video, you can take pictures at the same time? You hit the little white circle. Do you guys know that?
Mhm.
And then you can also, while you're filming, change the angle from 0.5 to 1 to, whatever it might be. So you can see we have this as we're having these discussions. These are very real sorts of, we're sharing stories. It's like the camera wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And we have hours and hours and hours of this, like, walking around like that. We're going to go into the studio and look at his podcast studio and all the cameras, all the fancy stuff he has. He even has a guy who's there helping set it up. And initially we're like, hey, you know what? We should set up here. No, we shouldn't. Let's not do that. Okay. But instead you can see, like, here's an hour 48. See that one in the middle? This one is an hour 12.
And my shoulders were hurting.
He's got strong shoulders. And we're outside his house and Yadik is pointing at his boat, right? This is right there. His next door neighbor, the house to the left, is Patrick Bet David.
Mhm.
Isn't that cool? That's a famous podcaster, whatever kind of guy. And as these two, so let me give you some context. This guy, Yadik Tadla, the one in the middle, is a real estate billionaire. He owns thousands of properties. He's a Grant Cardone without the fame. And he owns houses all over the place. This is his one in Miami. And we're talking about what his journey is and how a few years ago, he was conceivably on top of the world because he had everything, the jets and the money and the houses and the things, but he nearly took his own life because he was really empty inside and realized that money wasn't actually what was important. And this is a lesson all of us have heard before, but he tells it in a different way. And he talks about how the inner game is really what's important. To his left, the guy in the white shirt, is Corey Jacobs. Corey Jacobs is the best friend of P. Diddy. P. Diddy is not quite a billionaire, not that that matters. There's supposedly 2,700 billionaires on the planet. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. And so Corey Jacobs, being the best friend of P. Diddy since childhood, organizes all of P. Diddy's deals, the alcohol, music, partnerships. You can imagine people want to partner with the well-known musician, celebrity kind of person, right? And this guy went to prison for 17 years for selling drugs. And he had 16 consecutive life sentences. So that's a death sentence. No one's going to live to, whatever, that age. And he got a pardon by President Obama, which is really cool.
Wow.
And so he started a foundation called Buried Alive, which is helping people who, were selling marijuana or whatever, get out of their drug charges. I think like once you get caught the third time, you get in, whatever the rule is, and then he started all these other projects and initiatives like chess. He learned how to play chess. He read a couple thousand books while in prison, all this stuff. The guy to left in the light blue is Sam Tejada, who's the founder of Liqui Vita. Liqui Vita is about health and wellness. They have 32 locations across the US and growing. Sam, even though he has only 32 locations, is probably the super connector when it comes to modern wellness. And in fact, he is our client. They're all our clients, full disclosure. he has a book called How to Win in Modern Wellness, where we interviewed all the top people. And I'm going to explain why that works and how that's inception. So you can see we have hours of video. So here we're shooting towards, facing the house. Now we're shooting the other way to the boat in the back, while we're having these discussions. And there's some great moments that are being captured on my iPhone. Now, this looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, does this look like something that would come off of, does this look like a professional camera, maybe?
Almost professional.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, being on the phone, and by the way, when you get an iPhone, you always want to get the one with the maximum storage, because when you film in 4K, it eats up the memory. It's like 70 gigabytes. Okay. And we're telling different stories, and all this stuff is here. Okay. And they even mess up, as we're getting them to say, hey, come join, I'm Yannick Todla, come join my podcast, and we're going to learn how to do this and this. And I'm with my buddies, Sam and Corey. And then we have Corey come up. Hi, I'm Corey Jacobs. And today I'm with so-and-so and so-and-so. And we're going to talk about this. This is what you need to know to win at the game of life, blah, 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 right? All this stuff, right? And then we have pictures like the one that you just saw on Twitter, right? This was 2 days ago. We were in Miami 2 days ago. And this is a good shot. This is his kitchen. Wouldn't you like to have a kitchen like that?
I wouldn't complain about it.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're driving in the car on the way to the airport, Sam, I'm chewing a gum there. You see that? I always chew gum all the way. I'm afraid of bad breath when we're filming if I'm close to other people. And we go to Chipotle and have a chicken burrito bowl or whatever it is, right? But all of these things, I'm just capturing these moments. We went to Matt Franco yesterday, and this is an amazing, magician. So all this stuff is being captured. Now, let me ask you, I'm not trying to show you all this to boast, but why do I stop the sharing? Disconnect. Yeah, stop sharing. Okay. Let's start the video again. Okay. Why would I show you all of this? Based on what we've
I think what you're getting at, Dennis, is that by interviewing people, like we're leveraging people's authority online, right? Like we're interviewing people, we don't look like the type of person who wants to talk about ourselves. So we're giving them an opportunity to say something, little snippet, and then we're showing pictures. So that way people who know of these people online, they're going to be like, who's this guy?
Yeah. And so what Danny's doing, if he was a douchebag, he would say, look, I'm with this guy who's super wealthy and super successful. But instead, he's using that reverse psychology by saying, man, I'm about to F this thing up because I'm scared and I've never been in this kind of situation. He's creating empathy. Or he can say, when I was with Corey Jacobs yesterday, this is one thing he told me. He gave me some advice. And so he's edifying a mentor. He's edifying someone else who's more successful. All of us have people around us that are more successful in other areas. And so when you're edifying these other people, you're kind of like boasting, but in a non-douchebag kind of way, because people know you by who you're with, right? And thus, when you co-create this content, this allows you to multiply this in so many different ways. And now I want to show you how this is done in a systematic engineer-like way. Okay. All right, so we're going to switch back. Oh no, this is the wrong camera. This is the laptop camera. You saw the camera before. Now we're going to switch back to the other one. And why do I not have that one? Okay, I think I gotta go back to this here. All right. And let's go to the camera here. You know what? Look at this. Can you guys see that? This is a picture of a picture of a picture of a picture. Infinite mirrors. Isn't that neat? And that's the actual camera. This is all this other fancy stuff. You don't even need to look. This is a Rode NTG5. That's an Aperture light dome, LS light dome. There's 2 Apple TVs. There's like all this. This is the book that I was showing you, where this is Sam here. And
we can only see out of your desktop right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can't see the phone.
Sorry, guys. I got to share the screen again. You're right. We go back to this one. Share, go back to this. Okay. Now, how do I go back to? Hang on a minute here. Ah, okay. You see this now?
Yeah,
All right, what do you see?
Yes.
you see the book.
All right, the book. So Sam is the lighthouse of lighthouses because he knows all these other CEOs of healthcare companies and entrepreneurs and the best known doctors in stem cells and HRT and IV therapy. Like this guy's the founder of IV therapy. This guy has 500 locations of Revive. No, that's Jim Donnelly. This guy, all these guys have hundreds of locations and they're super successful, right? And the way we produced this book was I interviewed all these people on Zoom. I interviewed them because Sam was like, you know what, Dennis, you're a pro interviewer. I don't want to mess this up. Why don't you interview all of them? So I got to spend all this time with all these people. Is amazing. I had to do a lot of research. And this book here, which I took a screenshot of it to prove on Amazon, this was the best-selling book in social media, ahead of Gary Vaynerchuk and all these other people that you would think are like social media superstars. This was ahead of all them. And the way that Perry Marshall and I did this book was we interviewed all these other people and did the same thing and turned it into this book. And then when these other people are in this book, in this book, so now when you're, you know, Dr. Chris, or you are Dominic, or you are what's the other guy's name? Can't remember everyone's. I'm getting old. All of these people, because they have a chapter in the book, they want to share that they're an author in this book. So we are leveraging their audience here to grow our brand. You see, this is the ultimate in judo, where you're leveraging someone else's brand and authority to grow your brand in a good way, in a non-parasitic kind of way. Okay. So here's what I want to show you. I'm going to draw out another page here. You hold this. So remember that we talked about the topic wheel. So you're in the center of this topic wheel and you're selling yourself, know, like, and trust. So this is the product or service that you're selling, which is you. I mean, it doesn't have to be you directly, like coaching, or, you know, you're the founder of a, you know, real estate or pest control company or whatever, but ultimately it's being sold. Any service kind of business is driven based on the trust that comes from that person. And we know in the topic wheel, there are 6 topics. And these are topics that would conceivably, believably be areas of expertise that you have. And, you know, we could even go to like 2x. That way you can look closer without you having to bring the camera. Do you see that? You have like 1x, 2x, 3x. You got to learn how to use these different angles, right? I would do that as a 2x. See the wrinkles on my hands. So what are the things that, you know, put yourself in the center here. If you haven't gone through this exercise, you need to do this. What are the things that you would conceivably, believably be known for? And then who are the people that are definitely experts in those areas? If you connect with those, and let's say there's 3 for each of these different topics, then if you have co-created content with any one of these folks, and let's say that this is, you know, how to win on social media, and then this is Jake Paul. Well, Jake Paul clearly knows something about, he's the #1 influencer among young adults. He knows something about social media. He and I have co-created content, right? What's the other thing? Maybe, you know, it's Sam Tejada for IV therapy, and he has Dr. Robert Willix, and he's got a ton of co-created content with Dr. Robert Willix. Maybe it's something about entrepreneurship, and Yadek is talking about entrepreneurship and how he's made all this money, but that really wasn't even the most important thing, and how, you know, his ex-wife hates him and his 2 daughters don't want to talk to him, and how that's actually more important, and how he'd give all his money to be able to, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, what's the mindset of an entrepreneur. And we have Corey Jacobs, so maybe he can talk about, you know, how to deal with celebrities or overcoming obstacles or something like that. And so he has P. Diddy, and he has the DJ Khaled. How does DJ Khaled even? DJ Khaled is fat, dude.
Mhm.
How is he a celebrity? So Always one, like, that just shows like, it doesn't even matter. Okay. So so think about like, who are these other, and it doesn't have to be these celebrity people on the outside. Okay. But the point of inception is you're starting from the outside here and you have co-created content with these other people to drive your topic wheel to eventually, in this case, let's say this is the topic wheel. I can pull up Sam's and you can actually see it filled out, but I think it's a fun exercise to draw it out rather than show it to you already designed nicely by the VAs and all that. But Sam is trying to sell more locations for his franchise in Liqui Vita. But he also wants to heal the world. And there's all these things related to health. And we all want to make money in a way that actually is good and helping other people. So there's all these other people that are related to health. So he puts a book out there that ties all these other folks. Now, let's go back to the other people that we saw 2 days ago. So we have Corey Jacobs. So stay with me. And we also have Yadek Tadla. And we co-created content, all three of these folks. Why? Because there's a massive intersection between each of these three. Corey has huge connections. He's a mega networker in the world of entertainment because he's hanging with these celebrities and tycoons. And this is what happens, right? When you reach a certain level, the world becomes very small. These are the people who are at the top of music are also friends with the top in athletics and at the top in business. And the top business people also want to hang out with Olympic athletes and musicians and like that, you know what I mean? Like it's all sort of tied together. So Sam wants to have this sort of cool thing where he's reaching a broader audience, not just because he's got a Robin Hood thing. Like this is not just for the billionaires. This is for anybody. This is for the working mom. This is for the inner city kid that wants to be healthier. This is for the student that has brain fog and, is struggling to pass the final exam on whatever it is. And then Yadek, who's got, think about his topics related to real estate and being a Polish immigrant. And what does that mean to come to the United States and, mental health and nearly killing himself, even though he apparently had everything. And that ties in with health too here, right? Now with Yadek, we're creating his book and co-creating content with him and these other people. So we have Corey and Sam edifying Yadek so that Yadek is not the one saying how successful he is. We've got the other two saying that. And Corey is not the one saying how amazing it is. Yadek is the one who's saying good things about Corey. And they're each saying good things about each other in a mutual, non-douchebaggy kind of way. And thus, that's how we created all of this content. So if we go back and look, I want you guys to see this because once you see this, you can't unsee it. So this one here, I'm interviewing him.
Mr. Winergy himself.
He's got a book called Winergy that's coming out. And that's winning, that's energy, that's synergy, that's overcoming obstacles, that's playing the game of life, that's understanding consequences, that's, having the right connections. And so here's what all the things that he's saying. Now I'm edifying him.
Check out what he's doing with Winergy. Check out all the connections and the other things he's got going on. He's going to teach you how to master the game. I'm going to master the game, right? Or we're going to master the game to let you know how to checkmate your life. You know what I'm saying? I learned a tremendous amount through the game. And I have a bunch of life lessons that I had to overcome.
Okay, now pop quiz. We're going to take snippets of this video and then the 6 hours of video where these guys are all talking. But let's just take this snippet here. So if we did $1 a day against it, because we all understand $1 a day, who would we target?
P. Diddy,
Yeah. Why?
because he is very closely associated with P. Diddy, and a lot of people like him and P. Diddy are very similar because they're best friends.
Yeah. So then that's exerting my influence in other areas. So we're able to reach each other's audience. So let's go back here. And we said that when you create content on someone else's properties and they create content, you're able to go both directions, right? And if you have them as a client, which is, I think, the best way to do it, you don't have to do it as a client. There's many ways you can connect with people. They don't have to pay you money for services. Then I'm going to target, there's my content on their site, and I'm going to target the lighthouse here. So I'm basically saying, if you like P. Diddy, I'm going to target P. Diddy, then what happens to my relevance score? It goes to a 10 out of 10. So when my relevance is super high and I'm feeding that into Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all that, super high relevance, 10% plus engagement rate, then the audience that builds multi-stages in the funnel. Okay. So let's think about this for a moment with the content factory. Remember, there's 4 stages. And the first stage is we produce the content. So all this content is on my phone. That's a lot of content. Do you think I'm going to be uploading this and editing it and doing all that kind of stuff with this?
No,
I don't have time for that. So then what's going to happen with that content?
the VAs are gonna chop it up and process it.
The VAs are going to process the content. And they're not just going to chop it up, but they're going to figure out what the key themes are as they fit back to the topic wheels of that I have, the topic wheels for Sam, for Corey, for all these other people, because we have a lot of commonality between our different topic wheels, right? A lot of the same issues, not exactly the same, because there's things that I know about that they don't know and vice versa. And then when it's processed, then what do we do after it's processed? We post it to all these different places, right? And so the processing needs to occur because the formats on YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn, like they, sometimes it's vertical, sometimes it's longer format, sometimes you need a thumbnail, sometimes it's like white text on black. It's, so you make the content once, but it can live everywhere when it's being processed. If you just go straight from raw production to posting it, it's going to look weird and not going to fit quite right because SEO and websites and Google My Business and all these things are a little bit different. Okay. And then the last part is we promote it, meaning $1 a day, meaning we say thank you to these other people, meaning we capture comments, meaning we get further follow-on content, because people who engage on Danny's post, we can turn that into another article, right? There's all these ways of getting more. The idea of promoting or amplification is getting more out of what we have. So this is the 4-stage content factory. And about $1 a day, Dad. Where's Mom? We should think about something that's Mom. What's a moments of momentum? I don't know. Magic of, we could have ChatGPT come up with something that fits Mom, right? That way Mom and Dad are together because we're a good nuclear family, not this weird thing that's going on in the today. Okay, so these 4 stages, think about how what I just said about authority, high authority content comes from co-created long form boosted moments. Okay. So one moment 2 days ago in Miami in the year 2023, that can produce thousands of pieces of content that get processed. And when they get posted, we're going to find certain ones win. Maybe on LinkedIn, this one thing that Corey said in passing, maybe because we're repurposing, meaning using it in many ways. There's a moment here, there are several moments where Corey Jacobs, I remember, said something about me. Yeah, my man, Dennis, he really knows so much about digital marketing because, blah, blah, blah. We would never do it. We're so glad that Dennis is here. Or I say something about Danny. When you have hours and hours of content, what you're going to be looking for is edification. Edification is when someone says something good about you, right? So if we just go scroll through here, somewhere randomly, they're going to be saying something, right? Maybe it's not here. I'm not going to be able to find it because it's like 5 or 6 hours of content. It's going to be a needle in a haystack is what's that's called. But there's these lightweight moments where so now when these other people are talking, that guy's not mic'd up. Jeff's not mic'd up. I have Yadic and Sam. No, sorry. I have Yadic and Corey mic'd up.
Fucking 2 jets, both. Fuck. And there was like, this is like, shit, I'm sitting in my jet. Oh, okay. What now? The happiness lasted a
You're
week.
adding more
That's
responsibilities.
Yeah.
You're adding more things the hand to take care of.
Yeah.
You instead of minimalizing it a little bit, you know, that's just more stuff you gotta take
Yeah.
care of and more things you gotta juggle.
Mhm.
You know?
But now, I have like a beach house. I sit over there, my coach, my life coach, you know, and then you start hiring people because you're looking for like answers. I'm not fucking happy.
Right.
I'm not fucking happy. And he goes, Yarek, you gotta chill. What the fuck chill is? Like, Jesus, like, I can only sleep 2 hours. Like, chill. It's like chilling, sit down and just looking the nature. It's like kind of like, oh, that's cool. And suddenly all the answers are coming.
Yeah.
And the happiness is like, you know, it's like, I took a lot of drugs. And, you know, you reach the ecstasy level at some point, and then it goes away. Now I'm on ecstasy, like I don't have to take any alcohol, drugs, anything. My ecstasy lasts like 12, 14 hours. I'm sitting like, what the fuck? Like
By the way, you got to edit out the F words and all that. You can't boost. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk has 3 people that just take out
all the F words and whatnot, because, you know, you can put it out there organically, but if you have F words in there, you like the ads get disapproved. Okay.
Mm.
So he has people that edit, that bleep it out, and you see people on YouTube that do that, but you can see that there are these magical kinds of moments. And what I want to show you is kind of more of a mechanical way of, okay, you can see my screen now, right? Okay, we're on Twitter, right? We're looking at Danny's Twitter.
Yep.
All right, so when you have lots of raw content, so I spent time with Jake Paul. I even hired his own videographer to be able to do it in the most like genuine kind of way. I'm coaching him on things to say, and we're capturing those along the way as we're filming. So it's the B-roll and the A-roll at the same time. I want to show you what I'm doing here because I want you to do this as well. I want you to watch the technique. So we're doing this continuously, okay? Filming continuously.
So throughout my career, I've surrounded myself with experts. I can't teach everything in this program. So that's why I want to bring in Dennis. Give it up for Dennis. Hey, who has done $1 billion in Facebook ads. And together, we wanted to be able to certify your guys' agency. So when you go through the training, you actually are certified and legit. Jake and I put together this program for you because we're not selling this as a course. We want to.
Okay, so this is edification because he's edifying me. I'm leveraging his audience and his name and, you know, all of this kind of stuff because there's an intersection with our topic wheels. Okay, so let's go back to this one. I know this is kind of like weird going back and forth. Okay, how do I go back to this? How do I get back to this one here? You gotta show me how I did this.
I think you did the screen mirroring,
Oh, that's right,
right?
screen mirroring. There you go. All right. Okay. Now.
Camera.
Look at that. You're good. Okay. So there's me, and then I have a lighthouse. And remember, there's you and there's someone else, and they have different topics, and you have different topics. And there's going to be some intersection where you share a topic. This topic and this topic, you share that topic, right? So this is what naturally happens in conversation. When you meet someone new, they're like, oh, what do you do? Or, you know, oh, I've been there. Oh, you've been to that one place too in Florida. Oh, I've been there too. Right. Or you like that show, or you hate that football team. Me too. Right. So between different people, like with me, I have topics like hiring VAs and doing analytics, and Jake Paul doesn't really know about that. Right. And Jake Paul has, you know, boxing and sports drinks. Like, I don't know anything about that, right? I'm not credible there, but he knows something about social media success. And so do I, and we care about this and about entrepreneurship. And he and I both want to create jobs for young adults, because he says further on here, as you'll see, that, you know, hey, I struggled when I was a young adult and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I just started an agency accidentally. And now that I've learned how to leverage social media and, you know, become an entrepreneur, I want to help others do that. And that's why I brought in my buddy Dennis to do this. And then I'm saying, I know a lot about digital marketing and these other areas, but we've got to be able to help the Danny Librandts of the world. And so that my audience intersects with his and vice versa, because we share these common topics.
You see that? So think about this up here. In the context of the content factory, you're producing content. In this case here with Yadek, Sam, and Corey, we had 6 hours of raw footage that is now being run through these different stages to process. And we're going to turn that into a book because ChatGPT is going to, Descript is going to transcribe it. ChatGPT is going to enhance it. We're not using ChatGPT to create what's called synthetic content, which is content that just sort of came out of thin air. We're taking existing content and enhancing it with the ChatGPT and all that, and then turning it into these derivative assets, which is called repurposing. Repurposing is not just posting to many channels. A lot of people think repurposing is take the raw content and just spam it everywhere. No. Repurposing is understanding how the angles are a little bit different, because sometimes in that 6 hours, there's points where Yadek is telling some story, but then he turns around and as an aside, he just edifies Danny or me. And we have to listen carefully for that moment, right? Because we're going to turn those into different snippets and ads. And let's say that there's edification look, whenever you're with people, there's always good, if you listen carefully, there's edification of an endorsement of, and that's way more powerful than a testimonial, which is some fake staged kind of thing. And so the things that we said that were good about Danny in here, we could take all the other edification of Danny and all the other places he's been and the people that he knows and create a derivative piece of content that's just on edification of Danny. That's just on, we could look at all the people that we know that own a lot of real estate, which is a lot of people, and then say something about, what do these people that are pros in real estate know that we don't know? And then that could be on Rob Jensen's blog, because Rob Jensen's topic, one of his topics is real estate, right? Real estate. So I want you to see that repurposing is not just posting to many channels. Repurposing is the same piece of content can have multiple themes and can be used for multiple people in multiple ways, in multiple formats. That's repurposing. And then the more you repurpose, the more opportunities, shots on goal you have to be able to run ads. Okay. Now let's go to, you guys can see me and Jake Paul again here, right?
Right.
Now there's a lot of coaching along the way. There's me and Jake just talking about stuff. You can see there's hundreds of these in here, right? And we can, this is like this gold mine, cornucopia.
I would say this course is definitely like super hard to film because it has to be on point with everything that you say, and it has to all make sense. And you can have a bunch of information in your head, but it's hard to put it out into a blueprint for the world to be able to understand and grow from. It's not easy. And I think that's why people haven't done it. And this format's also super new. It's interactive, it's fun. And that's what's so exciting about it. And we, took it on head first and are trying to conquer this beast. It's not easy to take your brain and put it out into a online, course that people can follow along with and understand and grow from. A lot of people's geniuses is in their head, and you can't really explain it. And so to put that into content, to put that out there into the world has just been, it's difficult and it's not easy. And people are going to criticize, different things, or you said this and you said that. I don't know it all, but what I do know is that I am successful and I've created a healthy, amazing lifestyle with some of my best friends, and I'm financially free, and that's made me happy. And so I don't know it all by any means, but
he has all these other experts that are his friends that help make that happen. So he can credibly talk about what it means to be successful, to have an audience, to make money, to have multiple business ventures, to be healthy. The whole boxing thing is just really a disguised way to say that fitness is really important, right? It's not that I'm trying to knock out this other influencer. It's like, hey, I am at peak performance mentally, health-wise, spiritually, as an entrepreneur, right? I'm able to tie all those things together. And this is really what everyone is trying to do, is we have to represent that we are happy, healthy, and wealthy, right? Anyone that you see in self-help, it's happy, healthy, and wealthy, just different flavors for it. Some people call it, what is it? God, money, and sex, or what? There's like these different ways that they want to say it, right? But it's the same thing. Okay. So there's lots of these different ways where where Jake and I have promoted something. So here's one where we're going through these different cards. We have like 40 of these cards, and each one is a topic. Now, remember, this is not to be used continuously. We're repurposing by pulling out different snippets. So it'll be on personal branding, it'll be on whatever. And so Jake and I are saying, hey, this is one thing you need to have. And then we're going to extend that using AI tools into pointing to other courses we have, pointing to what other people have to say about this. But look at how it's filmed continuously raw, because the final product, if you look at just the final product, you won't understand why we filmed in this way, right? Create a little influencer kit, right? You want to be an influencer? You do the influencer kit.
Influencer kit.
Do you also notice that as a world-class video person or, actor or whatnot, when they mess up, what do?
He just goes right back at it.
Yeah, he just repeats so you'll hear him stutter, you repeat the phrase, right? That's how you can tell, because he knows the video editors are going to come in and edit out those first parts. So it's not that he's stuttering, it's that he's restarting that particular phrase because the video editor can pull it from there.
We created a toolkit for you guys for free that you're gonna be able to follow and put your info in to help you brand yourself and figure out where your lane is as an influencer. If you're an influencer, you need your influencer kit. And what better person than Jake Paul to learn from? Let's go. You want to talk about this one? Yeah, you can ask me. Personal brand website. Dennis, hey, if you've got a personal brand, you need to have a personal brand website, because you might be big on YouTube and social medias, but you need to have a website to be able to buy and sell things, to be able to collect email addresses. And Jake and I put together a personal brand website that is for you as a member of FFM. And you can use our templates and it's going to be easy. A lot of you guys don't have websites because you just don't know what to do. And it just seems so expensive. And there's so many different choices. We've got a website for you that will actually help you grow.
They'll help you rank and all that kind of stuff. And there's someone here who built their initial career on building websites.
That's right.
And what better way now? So we have a team of engineers, and we built a tool that basically generates WordPress websites based on, you fill out a form and it generates the website for you. It's hosted on our Amazon AWS. We handle all the WordPress plugins. We handle all this nonsense, which is a pain in the butt if you want to set up a personal brand website.
It's
Right.
brutal.
Yeah. So we've already taken care of all that because of our engineering, and we've made it free for these kids, but we have to make it a little nicer, because even though our tool will build the website and step people through and collect the content. Oh, now input your Twitter, now, create your Google Analytics account now, and then our system injects those code components into the site. There still needs to be some training along the way, and there still needs to be some kind of configuration. Like, if they upload a photo and then we put that in the background, maybe a VA has got to edit that video in a certain, or edit the photo, to make it nice. Kind of like go back to screen sharing. Remember what I was showing you guys? Like here, when we could create a contributor profile, which is kind of like a mini website. So here's Dennis Yu on market scale DR73, right? No joke. And there needs to be a little bit of processing. This is kind of like a personal brand website, because it's like, oh, who is Dennis Yu? Well, he went to the London School of Economics and he's featured in all these other places, and he's got, all these things that are occurring, right? All these sorts of things. Maybe there's a link to the thing I'm selling, right? Maybe basically the highlights of my brand. Well, if someone can come in, a young adult, and they have an option to fill out this, now upload your best videos, now upload your articles, now upload this. And let's say our system technically has the capability of taking that and then injecting it into a format like this. Why would that probably not work? Because they don't even know what to talk about, because they don't even have any videos, because they don't even okay, our system can take this, but they don't even know what to put in the system for our system to be able to process, right? So they're then like coaching and training in the interactive video, where Jake and I and other people are saying, okay, now that you've taken your headshots, now I want you to make a video about your favorite restaurant in town, right? Now, and here's the format on how to make video. Oh, you don't know how to use your phone. Okay, well, let me show you how you hold the phone. You have to hold it above your face, not below it. All these sorts of, so we've built all that kind of stuff in to kind of guide people along the way, even though the tool does all the things that the tool's supposed to do, and you don't can add more things to it. You see? So do you see like how there's this deeper inception of what we're doing? All right, let's go to the screen share again. Let's go to this one. Yeah, go to the phone again. And then we're going to tie it all together. And then I want to
Here, you have
see what
to
you guys
unlock
think.
it.
Okay. Go back to this. Isn't it neat? All these new skills that we're learning. Okay. All right, here we go. I sketched all this stuff out for you guys in advance. Okay. Here it is. I'm going to summarize this. This is the technical amplification of the fundamentals of things that you already know, but you haven't really maybe systematized it in this way. You've heard that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's increased quite a bit for you recently. And proximity is power. So who are the people that you're around? That changes the vibe, you know, being in the right rooms, right? And I heard somebody say love is spelled T-I-M-E. So it's who you spend the time with. I believe God always has the best for you. God puts you in the right circumstances, even when you don't know exactly why that is at that time. And you know, that goes back to Romans 8:28. You know, Romans 8:28. Let's see. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. In other words, everything happens for you instead of to you.
Mhm.
Nothing happens to you. Oh, this thing happened to me. No, actually, everything is a blessing. It's a blessing or a lesson, right? I guess. And so we believe, let's go back to this thing again. Should get faster every time, right? Here. We believe that everything happens for a reason.
Here, right, it's
Huh? Uh-oh. Oh no, the iPhone doesn't like this.
all right, there we
right.
go.
We believe everything happens for a reason where you're around the right people. Now, if you are co-creating content and you're aligning your topic wheel with the topic wheels of other people who share those same values, then this naturally creates your full funnels,
Mhm.
right? And remember we talked about the why, the how, and the what. A lot of people are like, yeah, top, middle, bottom of funnel, no like, trust. Yeah, that's true. But the why is that deeper story. So how many stories, Danny, do you think that we captured 2 days ago in Miami?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And so these all build the topic wheels of all of the friends that we have in different ways. So this is a mass intersection of co-created content across all these people who are friends of ours that believe in the same sorts of things, right? Now, I know the AI tools can't do this quite yet, but I've been trying to do it for the last 2 years with the AI tools to suck in the content and pull it out by theme and tie it to the different people. Now, humans have to do that right now, but by the end of the year, I think the AI tools will be able to figure out where there's those intersections between those different people, and then stack it in different stages in the funnel, pull out the very best ones that we as humans believe might be the best ones, but actually test it for $1 a day. Test these little 1-minute snippets for $1 a day. And then the ones that are doing good, because remember this why, how, and what, I'm taking the best why, how, and what, so I can run people down my funnel. And the ones that do the best, I'm going to put $10 a day against any one of these. You know, I'm going to expand the audience. There's different ways where I can expand. I can expand a piece of content because I'm making more derivative pieces of content. I can expand it because I'm spending more money on it. I can expand it because I'm extending the targeting on it. Or I'm also pulling in other people that share those same topics. So I can expand a piece of content many different ways, kind of like this outward spiral. When I find a winner, as long as this thing's an initial winner, it's going to work, right? See kind of how there's these different angles of expansion. Hopefully this is not too theoretical for you guys. Okay, thus, summary. I want you to think about what is your why. This is sort of thing people avoid. They miss kind of what their deeper thing is because they're busy chasing money. This is what Yadik talked about. He didn't have a mission. And the mission doesn't have to be, I want to help all the homeless children have shoes and be fed. No, it's just things that you care about that tie to something bigger than you and the impact that you want to make. Now then, who has those same shared values? And then can share those stories. And when you co-create content with them, you are documenting behind the scenes. So the idea of show, don't tell is don't just say, well, money isn't everything. And, the best things in life are free, but the second best ones are really expensive. No, say something, show them, document. So the reason why I've been capturing this on my phone is you see the difference between show. What's the difference between, what does that mean? Show, don't tell.
You want to show them what you're doing and what exactly it's like. So it really feels real versus telling someone it's like, okay, words only go so far.
Yeah. You're living example, learn, do, teach. You're showing you're not some hypocrite. You're not the fat weight loss coach, right? You actually are demonstrating you're living it out.
There's something's
You're-
going on with the camera.
Oh,
Let me,
I think it's trying to read. Apple's trying to be too smart about this thing.
yeah.
And then the third part is what? Remember, this is the 3 stages in the funnel: why, how, and what. So what are you selling? Ultimately, we are trying to sell products and services. We're trying to, Rob Jensen wants to get more seller leads, people who want to sell their home in a gated community in Las Vegas. And then he has calls to action for that. The calls to action are powerful when these first 2 components are in place. So there's nothing wrong with the what, with how it's being sold. I'm not questioning anyone's expertise or the quality of their products or whether their stuff's any good. What I'm saying is, because you don't have these first 2 components, this last component doesn't have any power. This is like the last stage of the rocket booster, but you need the first 2 to get to the point where that third exo rocket in space can hydrogen fueled, whatever, like that. This thing can't operate off the launch pad. It needs to operate in a certain environment. In the same way that when you have a magic berry that makes everything, that then all of a sudden this thing tastes sweet when you try the magic berry, right? If you guys haven't tried the magic berry thing, it's a crazy thing. Okay. So let's go back to, let's tie it together. Now these are videos from this morning from Rob Jensen, right? Rob, are you still there? So Rob sells luxury real estate in Las Vegas. And so we were together just a few days ago, and we were inside one of the homes that's being staged for $5 million, something like that. And we were just walking around on my iPhone, and he's giving tips to sellers, like, hey, you want to sell your home or want to know what it's worth? Don't leave money on the table. Meaning, you could get more if you don't make these mistakes. So here's what he's
Are you
saying.
looking to sell your home in Las Vegas? Don't leave money on the table. I've been in business for over 20 years and sold over $1 billion in real estate. And I'm going to give you my new book, The Ultimate Guide to Selling Gated Real Estate in Las Vegas. I'm Rob, broker owner of the Rob Jensen Real Estate Company. We help people buy and sell gated luxury homes in Las Vegas.
See, and he's mentioning a book, which we're going to write through ChatGPT. So, whatever. And you can see there's lots and lots of these different snippets. So we can just pull up another one. Hopefully it's uploaded properly. Now he's got tips for buyers instead of just sellers, right? Now, if you're buying a home, let's say you live in California and you want to buy a home in Las Vegas, how do you do that? You got to explore the neighborhoods. You have to plan your travel. You have to see the shopping centers, and don't just tour the home, tour the neighborhood, see kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, go for it. Keep going.
Okay. So we're putting you on the spot, Rob. You've not seen this before. Neither have I, because these just got
no.
uploaded this morning, right? So you and I get to see these.
So awesome. You're looking to buy a home in Las Vegas. You're gonna be booking your tickets soon and coming here. Big tip, really important one, is that you want to start doing your homework early. And that means whether you're talking with me or another real estate agent, we're going to start lining up your search online, sending you properties to pick out. And then hopefully we have that list lined up in advance, whether it's 5 homes or 25 homes, because a lot of these homes in these gated luxury communities require advance notice. Sometimes it could be 24 to 48 hours notice. So
See, that's a VA mistake. Did you see that? So this notice, they put like the bill notice, like you didn't pay your bills. I love VA, but you have to AI, right? Now, you have to watch the AI because it's not always going to get it right. Look at this. Look at the B-roll they put.
or
It's at the
advance
bottom.
notice.
Look at this.
Sometimes it could be 24 to 48 hours notice. So
A final notice. Did you see that? Uh-oh, you're about to like.
Yeah, it's engaging for sure.
Let's see what else we got here. It's a 1 minute video.
Absolutely want to have everything picked out in advance so these appointments can be made. And then that way, when you're in town, you can see what you want to see and you don't miss
Oh,
out.
see, you see that little lip there? That you can't have that, right? So this is like the VAs get you like 90% of the way there, right?
If you'd like more tips, I share these and other tips in my new book, The Ultimate Guide to Selling Gated Luxury Real Estate in Las Vegas.
And let me ask you, is there another real estate agent who has a book on how to buy and sell gated real estate in, luxury homes in Las Vegas? No. So Rob is going to be the winner on this. And pick one of these.
Third one.
The third one, this one. Okay, here's one. See, also, this is a problem. Importance of the marketing convey. The hell does that mean? So that's got to be fixed. But let's see what is this? See,
When it comes to luxury real estate, every home is unique. So it's really important that the marketing convey the special features and things about the lifestyle and the community that buyers are going to love. You as the homeowner definitely have a reason why you fell in love with your home. And it's my goal to help make sure these prospective buyers fall in love with your home as well. And that's why they're going to pay the highest price possible. Get more tips in my new book, The Ultimate Guide to Selling Gated Real Estate in Las Vegas.
okay, so there's several things wrong with this. What's wrong? Besides the title is ridiculous.
I don't like music.
Yeah, music doesn't fit. What else?
I'm not sure, honestly.
It's all in the same scene.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if he's showing luxury, like we need to show different houses and different. So we have him saying, get tips in my book from many places around this property. So we can incorporate that just so we have visual reset. He could be saying all the right things, but if you don't, people's attention spans, the younger they are, is just goldfish like. So you have to constantly be resetting that attention, right? So that's why we have the B-roll. That's why the words are there. That's why we have all this other stuff there to keep the visual attention while he's delivering his message, right? And then some of the stuff's a little too abrupt, which we have in our course for video VAs, but just because we have the course doesn't mean they necessarily abide by that. So we have a QA level on top of that. But I just wanted to show you, like this is powerful if you have these two other components that I just showed you. The whole point of what we're talking about today is build authority through co-created content so that when people see this stuff, the algorithm can now deliver the next piece of content. The algorithm, just like Netflix recommending the next show, just like ChatGPT or what, Amazon, you bought this thing now, like that's the next thing you need to buy. We're seeding the algorithm with all these other components.
So a couple, sorry, we're gonna jump
Yeah,
in.
go ahead.
Just note to add to the mix, the first video showed our old logo, which was sort of the red with the guard gate that looked kind of like a house. The newer one is the blue, more modern looking gate.
Uh-huh.
It's on our website. So just so they know, so they have the new.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Well,
And
this is
then-
what happens with first draft, right? I haven't even seen it. It just came out.
Oh,
this
yeah,
week.
no, all good. I
Yeah.
just pointed
Yeah.
out, so you know,
Yeah.
and then Kyle had some questions too. about-
Okay. What you got, Kyle?
Yeah, so, we were running the dollar a day stuff on Facebook and Twitter, and that was all doing good. I know we talked about last week on Facebook.
Yeah.
TikTok, the issue that I encountered, I just wanted to see what you know about it, is that we went to set the lifetime ad spend for $50, and then when we went to view it, it's like it bumped it up to like 180 or something. So is that like, is there a certain minimum, or like, why would it say when I go to create the ad, lifetime budget 50, and then it's like, oh, all of a sudden it's like more?
You have to be careful when you're dragging that slider across, and this is the same on Facebook or these other ones. So on TikTok, let's say you're spending $10 a day and you want to run it for a week, that's spending $70. So you could also say lifetime budget of 70, $10 a day, which would then mean it will run out in 7 days. So
Okay,
whether you set the number of days you have or set the lifetime budget, if you set any two, the third is already calculated, right?
got it, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I like to, with TikTok in particular, because they don't have $1 a day, their min is actually $5 a day.
Yep.
And if you're boosting, so if you're on TikTok here, and you go to a particular post that you want to boost of yours, which is not a Spark ad, which is boosting someone else's post. So if I go to one of mine, let's say I'm going to this one here, and I boost it down here.
Yeah.
I hit promote. Here, this is, let me change the screen so you can see it. This is not where I recommend doing most of the boosting, but there's 3 places to do the boosting. So here I'm looking at particular post. And I can choose these audiences, of course. Next. And it's going to now ask me for my budget. You see, it's defaulting to $10 a day across 2 days. So it's going to you see $20. So
Yeah.
$10 a day for 2 days is trying to force me into $20. But I don't like to spend $10 a day. I want to spend as little as possible to test it until I find a winner. So I'm going to drag this thing over. Now it says $5 a day. And because of that, it's for 2 days. $5 a day for 2 days is $10, right?
Okay, I'll take a look at it on the app because I was doing it from the desktop.
No,
but-
do it in the desktop, but I'm saying it's the same thing.
Well, it was weird because when I did it on desktop for the ads manager, I set it for 7 days and it was like $20 a day. So it said the minimum was 140 and it was in red and it wouldn't let me do any smaller. So,
All right,
Just-
well, it's some weird thing, but on,
okay,
yeah, you can, depending on which interface you go in, it's either $5 a day, $10 a day, or $20 a day. And it's like, because you have you're very niche in what you're doing, I think you can get away with, and because Rob is also very eloquent and he's reasonably well known, which helps, so basically creates phantom retargeting. You could actually load up a whole bunch of videos and run them inside an ad set at $20 a day for a week and let them all compete against each other.
okay, cool.
So the whole like $10 a day and $5, like, it doesn't matter because you just throw a whole bucket and let them all compete against each other. The whole point of whether it's Facebook or YouTube or TikTok is you're taking lots and lots of these pieces here and they're all competing against each other, right? It's like whatever the NBA bracket, whatever NCAA bracket, where the thing competes until you have the winner. That's what we're trying to do here. So don't get hung up on, is it a daily budget or a lifetime budget? Get them all in the same place to let them compete based on the standards of excellence. Like what gets the highest watch time, what gets the best, click through on the website, what, those things, right?
Yep, okay, perfect. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay.
You, and then you have another question, didn't you? No. That was it? I did too.
And if other folks have questions, just holler them out or type them in, right? Oh, hey, Andrew Cartwright. Hey, Andrew, are you there? I see Andrew's face.
Looks like there's a chat there.
Oh,
So-
it is, okay. There he is.
Hello?
Andrew, how are you
What's
doing,
up,
my
man?
friend?
Good,
Hey.
good, you?
Andrew is my neighbor. He lives like a mile and a half away. We're here in Henderson, and we did several podcasts together. He's kind of like Yadic in a way, the guy we were featuring, where he's super successful. I know he says like 37 businesses, but I'm sure the number, he owns way more than that. And he's super successful, understands the framework of business, understands money, understands entrepreneurship. He's got 500,000 followers on YouTube, which is crazy. And now he's starting to actually get his personal brand out, even though he's been sort of behind the scenes making money successfully. But super cool, Andrew, that you're, maybe you could just say a few words about yourself and what you're doing.
We're in the process of buying 99 companies. And, I think as a personal brand, a really rich guy with a bunch of businesses is not very interesting. But if there's a guy that has made it 4 times, I've been a multimillionaire from homeless to multimillionaire 4 times. And this time, thankfully, more than a decamillionaire and hopefully at some point a billionaire. But that's not interesting to people. What's interesting to people is how can I help that, people. So right now, as part of Epic 99, I'm working on buying companies with people. I'm looking to deploy about $223 million to buy companies with my audience to take that public and do that in 3 years. And as soon as that, hopefully I'll be able to retire again. It'll be my 3rd retirement. So that's my goal. And then share everything I know on YouTube and everywhere I can to help as many people as I can that want to come up. You know, that's my goal. Banking is a big part of my life. The 4 times I became a multimillionaire, it was because I learned how to fix credit, leverage what little money I had to really explode with momentum. And that's so, like, I have a multimillionaire blueprint that every single time I'm broke, it just comes right back. So anyway.
Yeah, and I love how you've set up a podcast studio. Oh, sorry, you were to say something? Go ahead.
Oh, no, my camera will go in and out, and if I don't.
Over focus, okay. He also surprisingly knows a lot about the actual production and setting up cameras and that whole kind of thing. It's awesome.
Not because I wanted to. I think what happens is you learn skills as people fail you, and you can't be afraid to just do it yourself. So my editor left. He was editing for 5 years. I didn't make any money on YouTube. I was doing everything for free. My first check was like $3, but he left to go be a nurse. Great guy, love him to death. But then I was having a hard time finding an editor. So I said, you know, how bad could it be? So within a couple of days, I learned to edit. Then, you know, it's just everything I've had to learn, even banking. I didn't plan on becoming a banker. I do 300 to 500 applications for business loans a day. We fund every single day. Like I just went through a funding sheet. We just funded 10 people. So,
and you have a bank too. You've
Yeah.
done so many deals, you had to start your own bank,
Yeah.
which you're very humble about. So I'll boast for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, that's.
But I especially admire, Andrew, how instead of you, like there's a lot of rich guys who can talk about how they have a lot of money and have a nice house and this sort, like, you know, I've been in your house, the one you're in right now, which is beautiful. But instead, I like how you have been putting the focus on other people and the guests that you've had and focusing on their stories, which is this very empathetic move. And I love how I think a lot of the people that like Danny and I have been meeting in the last couple of weeks are people that would fit into parts of your topic wheel for co-created content. And there's a lot of the same kinds of stories. So I'm always looking at where there's this synergy. Where can I make an introduction that creates this kind of mutual value?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
You've been amazing. I just, all this stuff that you've taught me in just a short amount of time. I'm like, okay. What's the catch with this guy? He's too perfect. He's too good. He's too awesome. Like,
well,
what? There's got to be something there. And, you know, I've spent a lot of time with you, and it's just been absolutely amazing. And you are an absolutely giving person that I'm thankful you're in my life. That's why I'm here. I like literally am getting pulled in so many directions. I've got over 1,000 emails to get through, funding sheets to get through, people to help. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than with you right now, Dennis.
Oh man, that means so much to me, Andrew. You want to know what the catch is? So you can see in my topic wheel, the things that matter to me is the creation of jobs, especially for young adults. And us that are older, like you and I, not like we're retiring or anything, it's the way we succeed in our businesses is by creating opportunities for young adults. So you have a young adult that you're mentoring, Will, who is fantastic. He's bright, you know, lots of opportunity, this kind of thing. And you're helping him grow and he's apprenticing, but he's also helping you grow your business. And the same is true for like Danny, right? Danny's like this as well. And there's other folks, there's a ton of people that we're mentoring. You're helping me mentor other people at scale. So I'm super appreciative of you. I want to see more of this. I want to see more Andrews that are pulling other young adults into the, so a lot of young adults that, you know, they don't believe in college. And like you saw what Jake Paul had to say about this whole thing. We are the ones who are creating opportunities for these future leaders, because otherwise they would be building cabinets or doing some like blue collar, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. But you and I can open people to more opportunities, especially the young adults.
Yeah. What's funny is I think I tapped at the top I've ever had is about 200 employees. But I would literally hire every single person and pay as much money as possible if what they created value-wise was more than what they did. So I always think of like, you know, and that's always the troubling equation when you're hiring people is, you know, we're buying 99 companies, right? So in buying those companies, if I bring somebody in that's a leader and I'm financing the business for $3 to $5 million, is that person going to eat, sleep, poop, and work? Like I've worked for 4 years for free fixing stuff after 2008. Like, well, what's the real passion there? And what I find is that people, like, literally the hardest part is getting to the point where the value someone creates for an organization is more than what they actually cost you. And I find that that's usually running a deficit. Otherwise, I would hire every single person I could, buy a company and figure it out. But like, literally, human capital is, I think, literally the hardest. But I would love to hire everybody, be
Yeah.
cool. But, if someone costs you, let's say 10 grand a month, and you lose money on them, and then they're still mad at you, it's wild. You're like, do the math. It's not hard to figure out. The company is not making enough to even pay you. So, anyway, that's another along the lines of hiring everybody and hiring 1 million people, your goal. I'd love to help you with that. I'd love to
Yeah.
hire 10,000 people if that, take a chunk out of that.
Well, I think you've agreed to hire 2 VAs, so that's a start.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well, I
it.
told Will, I said,
Yeah.
Will, hire as many as possible, that can out create what they cost. Like, literally, let's hire as many people as possible. Because if not, it's going to fall on my shoulders, or it's going to fall on Will's shoulders.
Yeah.
If we
And
don't
I'd
get
like-
it off our shoulders.
Yeah. And so a lot of this stuff has been on your shoulders, where you've been editing the video, you've been setting up the camera, but then because you actually know how to do it, you can mentor and teach someone like Will. And then Will, because he's been editing tons and tons and tons of videos, he is now in the ideal position to be able to help other VAs follow his, because when you're doing it, you just turn Loom on and just have it record as you're doing the thing and you're explaining as you're doing it. Now other VAs have a clear standard that they can follow. Like Danny's done a ton of copywriting and website building. So he's in a perfect position to be able to hire and mentor other VAs that are doing that same thing. But you can't, this, Andrew, but a lot of people don't know, you can't hire and mentor and develop someone if you don't have that skill yourself. You got to put on your own oxygen mask first.
Yeah. Well,
And that's
they
true of all
won't
of us
know. You can't tell the difference of whether they're snowing you or not. Like, how can you tell? Like, I had a sign company I just met with, and the guy says, yeah, the sign will be $500,000. I go, I owned a construction company for 15 years. I know exactly what a 2x4 panel costs for LED sign. And I know roughly how much it costs to put it in. So it costs what it costs, and the time is the time, and the labor is industry standard. So if I marry those together and they don't equal $500,000, then obviously I'm never doing business with you. Then all of a sudden the price went to 150,000. I said, so we went from $500,000 to 150. I said, I can get the same sign basically from China for 10,400. So I don't mind if you stack 15 or 30% on it and then also charge me for labor. What do you think the cost would be? He scratched his head and said, I'll give you a quote, Mr. Cartwright, later on this afternoon. From $500,000. Company's called YesCo.
Sounds like no code to me.
Yeah, I'm like, when I ran my construction company for 15 years, developing 200 homes, industrial subdivision, the whole book, my books were open. Anyone could come in and they could look through them. They were all transparent. I get 3 to 5 bids on every single trade, scope of work, scope of values, and break everything down, and nothing is hidden because, cockroaches will grow in the dark. So I leave the light out, and all my partners, all my clients, everybody was like, you can look at anything you want. I love transparency. And I think the closer you get to seeing the transparent of every single business, the more successful you can be, because it's those sneaky YesCo negotiation. That $350,000 difference in less than a minute. Wow.
I would question anything else they had to say after that.
I did.
Well, there's a course you and I have taken on who do you trust? Knowing who to trust.
Yeah, I would say he was in somewhat of covert hostility. a lot of people are envious when they see some of the stuff I have, and then they figure, how much can we get from this guy? The problem is that, I'm not stupid. I built this stuff 4 times. So it ain't an accident that I have it.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I'm glad you joined us for our weekly coaching session, the mastermind. And if you're up for lunch, and I think Will was going to come over and we eat some lunch or play some golf, love to see you. I know you're like 3 minutes away.
I would love to. Will texted me, goes, yeah, I need 2 videos out in the next, so I'll film. I'm going to rip out 2 videos in the next probably 30 minutes, and then I can meet up with you.
All right, cool. Yeah, hit us up. Awesome.
brother.
And then everyone else, so glad you're here. Do you have other questions, maybe for Andrew or for Danny or me? Go ahead and holler it out, or you can save it for later. No, you guys just want to go. We've been going for an hour and a half. I get you too. Awesome. Hey, Danny, how would you summarize what we talked about today?
I'd say it really comes down to the funnel. So I think we were really emphasizing getting people, your audience, through this process of first getting to know you, then getting to like you, then getting to trust you. And I feel like too many people go right away into selling, and we first need to get people to know you, get people to like you, and then trust you. So, don't go right into selling, and we need to establish this trust. And the way we do that is by building authority. And this kind of untapped strategy that we've been talking about is leveraging other people's authority, not just saying, well, look at all this, I went to college here, or I made this X amount of money. The best way to build authority, which is what we've been finding out, is that you can leverage other people's authority. So, and instead of having, let's say you have a level 10 authority out of 100, you can bring on all these other people that also have a level 10 authority. And instead of maxing out at that level 10, because that's really all you can get, leveraging all these other people's authority, you can really get up to like a level 100 authority.
Yeah.
So you can constantly maximize your authority by leveraging other people, whether they have a ton of social proof in another niche, or maybe they're not so big and they're just huge in your niche. Just leveraging all these people and sticking to the process is what works.
Amen. Well, thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
And thank all you guys. Appreciate you. We didn't get a chance to cover a lot of optimization, but next week I want you to bring your campaigns, be ready to log in, and let's do some hot seat stuff like we did last week. And I want to see you guys win. The whole point of $1 a day is not something just to watch or learn like some movie or Netflix, but it's something to apply. And I want to see everybody be winning with $1 a day. If you are not winning with $1 a day, I want to know why. I want to know what particular component you are not applying. Are you not creating 1-minute videos? Maybe not the right kind of 1-minute videos. Maybe you haven't solidified the product or service that you have. That if you don't have that part, then this whole $1 a day thing isn't going to work, right? But I want to make sure that at least for the part of using $1 a day appropriately, that you understand what you need to do, that you're doing it, that you're stuck at any point along the way, you reach out to one of our people, reach out in the Facebook group, like reach out to me if you need to, but I want to see you guys win on this. Okay. So keep the updates in the group, and we'll see you guys next week. And Andrew, we'll see you in like half an hour.
All right.
All right. See you guys.